What's up, everybody? This is Jose with Oakland Latinos United, aka Oakland Latinos Unidos, on here with a new spill, a new video for you guys to enjoy. Well, I'm going back a little bit to my old thing I used to do, my Barrio tours. This time it's going to be a historical Barrio tours, and one might ask, why are you in this industrial area? There's no Barrio here. Why am I here? Why am I in this industrial area? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the sad story of a place that once existed right here where we're driving. You know what I mean? This industrial area. And we are in Hayward, California. We're over here on West Winton. Way at the bottom, towards the end, almost going towards the bay. And once upon a time, to my left here, and to my right, this was all a neighborhood. A barrio, a hood. You know what I mean? Made up of black and brown folks. And that neighborhood was called Russell City. And Russell City was an unfortunate victim of what at that time they called urban renewal. And urban renewal is something that occurred in a lot of cities. A lot of people act like it only happened in Oakland or the Bay Area, but it happened in a lot of cities. And this was about the 1950s and 60s, where cities at the time had no value to the older neighborhoods in their cities. And the way they looked at it at that time, because you got to remember, this is, racist times, segregation and all that. If the neighborhood was old, it was blighted, especially if it was full of black and brown folks, let's tear it down and build something new. They called it progress at the time. And all this to your left, all these warehouses over here that you see, was all Russell City at one point. It was an old barrio, an old neighborhood, made up of Raza, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans, believe it or not. There were also Portuguese people, a lot of black people as well. Russell City was known for having jazz and blues clubs. You know what I mean? It was a very popular place with nightclubs, especially, from the African American community that once lived here. And even, believe it or not, in this area, and this was all once upon a time, all these warehouses were all houses in neighborhoods. This was all neighborhoods at one point. All houses, old Victorians, parks, neighborhoods, And at one point, a family that lived here was the Nava family. And I forget his first name, but the older Nava, which that was their last name, he was, they say, one of the last living sons of Pancho Villa. And he was one of the last living residents of Russell City. So even Pancho Villa's family lived here at one point, which is amazing, here in the East Bay. You know what I mean? But yeah, this was all Russell City at one point. Very historical barrio and very historical blues and jazz area. No trace of it left anymore. You feel me? And the way I heard that they destroyed this neighborhood was really shady. I heard that it basically starting between 1958, 59, all the way into the mid-60s to about 65, they started tearing down houses. They started kicking people out to build all this, turn this into an industrial area. I heard that they were so shady that when people would leave to the store, when they would come back, their house would be on fire. Literally. These are stories that I once heard, and I'm pretty sure they're true. A lot of shady stuff. The city of Hayward allowed this. So remember, this old neighborhood, this old community that was made up of black and brown and working class white people was completely destroyed and burnt literally to the ground by the city of Hayward in the 1950s and 60s in the name of progress. And it's a sad story that most people do not know about. It's a story that's not very well known in the history of the Bay or in the history of Hayward. Those people who maybe had family here, For those, you know, some researchers have done some. There's a book about Russell City. I actually have it. They have the Russell City Festival. They have the mural on A Street of Russell City. But yeah, I actually have a picture of these railroad tracks, and on the side it's nothing but houses, all gone for an industrial park. Yep, but that was the story of Russell City, man. Leave it in the comments. Tell me if you ever heard of Russell City, the Barrio, the black community, the working class white community that once existed at the bottom of West Winton and Hayward, Califas in the East Bay 510 many years ago. You know, leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think. All right, y'all. Be safe.